Hi, COVID has proved to be, obviously it's had its negative and harmful impacts at so many levels. But there have been some bright spots that have been created by COVID. So like everything, you can look at the two sides of the coin, and this time I'm going to be looking at the positive side of the coin. The benefit of COVID is that a lot of banks are now moving towards various forms of digital ID. I always think it's surprising when I talk about digital ID in banks because for those of you who are self-employed, you would know that the tax office, the ATO, has moved to digital checking of ID with their MyGov ID app, which is now used instead of the ATO portal. So for the tax office to be leading the way on digital IDs and the banks to be laggards in this space, I always think is rather ironic because it's not the way you'd expect it to be. So the banks are gradually being dragged into the 21st century as we go forward, and a lot of them are now accepting digital IDs in various forms. The only issue we currently have as brokers is that each lender will have their own idea of what is an acceptable digital ID. So you get things from, I've got clients who are holding up their passport and driver's license, and I do a video Zoom call with them and do a screen print, but they're still required to go to the post office to get the original certified, to people where you can get what's called a process where someone comes remotely to you and they check your ID, to other digital forms that are far more efficient with their processing information and confirming it all online through back-end systems. So it's varying a lot. That makes it a little bit more tricky for brokers, not impossible, just but you have to go through it all. And the benefit is, the benefit is that you can help customers with their applications. The downside is if it needs more than one lender to look at a particular application, then the ID process might need to be repeated a couple of times. But that's a small price to pay in these COVID times of not being able to do face-to-face. And it also opens up the market for brokers to look at loans throughout Australia, because if you're doing digital ID, you're no longer needing to work out ways of actually getting that ID checked remotely. Okay, some issues, some benefits, and some solutions, all looking good for the future. Cheers for now.